Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Vostok, the first manned spacecraft. So the first thing that's going to happen is the spacecraft is going to roll to its launch azimuth. We can see once it's rolled to its launch azimuth, the manned service structure is going to sort of latch onto the spacecraft, and this allows Gagarin to enter the Vostok. And there we go. Now at this point, Gagarin can enter the elevator. Here he is, waving to his audience of whoever, the public, the KGB, the director, whatever. Yeah. And he boards the elevator. And the elevator goes up. This takes quite some time, so we'll give it a little push forward. The elevator is going to open up. And he is going to board the spacecraft and sit in his ejection seat. He is officially on board the spacecraft now. The elevator is going to go to its stow position, and the manned service structure is going to retract, and the crew transfer train and service transfer train are going to depart from the station. We also just realized the volume is very loud, so we'll turn that down. Here we can see the arm is retracting. We can see the elevator is in a specific position so it doesn't hit the ladder. And there goes the train. Once the train is in position, the engine service structure is going to retract, and the spacecraft service structure is going to retract. And stand by for ignition. There we can see arms are retracting, and the ladder structure, and thrust is building up, and lift off. Pitch program. And the staging will happen very soon. The asparagus staging. There goes the fairing. And here comes second stage ignition very shortly. And there's shutdown. And staging happens very shortly. And the stage here is yaw stabilized. And the radiators are open, the antennas come out, and here we are. So here's the inside of the Vostok spacecraft. It's pretty simple. I'll turn the radios down so that you can hear me. So I'll just go over everything that you see then. So here we have the Globus. Let me just make sure that TV audio is off. Yeah. Yep, good. So here we have the Globus. Starting from, let's go here. So console, we've got up at the top left, this light here, rocket failure. This is depress, retro disabled, gas for descent 1, check oxygen, ready for SEP, check CO2, ready for eject and alarm. Here we have manual control, PKRS running, oxygen flowing, descent 1, descent 2, descent 3, rewind, record, retro firing. This is comm request, VHF 1 transmit, VHF 2 transmit, and UHF transmit. Over here, we've got our main RCS pressure, our retro pressure, and our auto RCS pressure. Sorry, this manual RCS, auto RCS pressure. Here we have the SVC mole count. This is the percentage of oxygen and the percentage of CO2. Here we have the atmospheric pressure. Here's the humidity, and here's the temperature. This clock shows the ground time. This clock shows emission elapsed time, and I forget what this clock is. This yellow needle that spins around shows the PKRS. When it hits here, we get descent 1. Here is descent 2, descent 3, and engine ignition. This knob here controls the flight time, the seconds and minutes, and the flight days. This is the equatorial drift, orbit drift. Here's the orbit count. And this is the thing that allows you to set that. This is the correction system. So we've got MRL, less rotational direction, and more. So this sets the rotational direction, less and more. Here, 15 degrees is good. And this is the landing location and the globus. Now coming over here, let's get some lights going. Coming over to the other side. This is the cabin temperature. This says warmer, this says cooler. This is the cabin gas analyzer. So when we click it, and the output is displayed here. This is RCS pressure, so we can go on pressure 1 or pressure 2. Redundant system. This is the globe. You could turn it off or on. And then this switch toggles the landing location. This is the lamps check. So here, when we press it, we get the lamps. This here is the illumination of the VZOR, or visor. Here we can make it brighter or darker. These are the blinds. So there's actually blinds covering all 3 of the porthole windows. One for behind us, one for the side of us, and one for the sort of optics here. The visor. This is the transmit switches. This one's for UHF. This one's for VHF. You can turn them off and on. So we can see if we turn UHF off, UHF light turns off. VHF lights will also turn off if we flick that off. This is TV sound. This is the TV light. So we can turn the light on for the television camera right here. This controls the brightness, and then this is the main lighting. You've got your standby light, your work light, and off. This is the recorder. Here's the rewind. Here's the start. This down here changes the radios. And then here is the recorder to auto or manual. We want it on auto. And then this, it controls the speakers. So if we want to go through the headset, and down is through the speakers. And then this is if we're on VHF 2 or bus for headphones. So there's some music playing we can hear. So that's on VHF 2. Here's for VHF 1. That's very cool. So all pretty cool. This is the, let's just check our atmosphere here is good. This is the manual controls. So here at the top, we've got our manual orientation switch. This is the descent program. This is the retro fire switch underneath 2 guards. This is the oxygen, so you can manually pressurize. And then here's the alarm signal. To access this panel, 1, 2, 5. And we can gain, for instance, manual control. So we can see the manual control light has come on. And we are able to orient the spacecraft. Keep in mind that each input needs a couple seconds to register. Here we can see if we flip this on, the oxygen will pressurize for us, which we're not going to want to do for too long. This turns the alarms off. This runs a descent program, and this immediately retrofires, but we don't want to push that. Here we can go back auto, close that up. And now we can cruise along. We can see the radiators automatically control the temperature. It's very nice. We can see we've come past descent 1 now. So we can check our landing position. And that's going to change over time. Here we can see once we hit descent 2 at the top of the minute, descent 2, we can see we begin automatic orientation to retro attitude, which if we look in the fish eyes, it's going to roll us back around and begin to stabilize, roll eventually. Now we can see, just time skip a little bit, help it along. Once we're in attitudes, the Earth will no longer be shown, and the land will be going straight up like that. And that's how we know we're in descent attitude. And now we can see when we approach our engine ignition time, again at the top of the minute, pressure is going to build up and the engine will ignite. Now we can see when we have cutoff, one of the thrusters gets stuck on for a split second, and we're thrown into this tumble. The ready for sep light is on, but we can't separate. So to do this, 5, open, manual attitude, and this will stabilize the spacecraft. This did happen in real life, in case you're wondering. We're almost stabilized here. Once we're stabilized, jets come off, go back to auto, close the cover. Now we can see when we come in for landing. Here, let's toggle our landing location real quick and check on that. Right near Russia. Very good. You can see it actually has to burn off because we can't separate. This is no problem, and the ball can re-enter in whatever attitude it wants. The whole thing's covered in heat shield, so tumbling is also no problem at all. We'll have our re-entry. And we can close the windows to stop the blinding. We can come down. We can see the ready for eject light is on. So it's basically standby for ejection. We can see we're coming in, and we're a little bit cooked. Very shortly, the side of the spacecraft will open up and we'll eject out. As you can see, we've ejected. The spacecraft parachute opens and the seat drops, and we've got our parachutes, our drogue chute, and when the person comes down, see the spacecraft, it lands rather harshly, but we should land rather softly because our second parachutes will open to slow our landing down. There's that second parachute. And here comes the landing. And Yuri Gagarin survives his first flight in space. Thanks for watching.